I'm amazed that they haven't at least used my laugh for some sound effects in Wicked.
How do you know we haven't? It's happened already.
I am delighted to say we have Cynthia Erivo, Jonathan Bailey, the stars of Wicked, which is the best film ever to be released. Honestly, I have been waxing lyrical about this movie all week. I have felt I was so emotional during it. It brought back, I don't know, memories of friendships lost and forgotten that you just sort of tear at your heart. It made you howl with laughter at one minute. It's just got everything. Obviously, the singing, the dancing, everything.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It should be sponsored by Kleenex.
Next time. We've got another one coming.
I know, because every interview I've read, Cynthia, of you and Ariana, it just says that you just end up in tears all the time.
We do, and I think it's because people have come in with like such energy, and their responses, their emotional responses come into the room with them, and this is the first time we've been able to really like talk about it.
Yeah.
So I think that we're both sort of reliving and rehashing all the things that we've been through and the journey we've been on. So we can't help it. We get very emotional about it.
Yeah, which I don't blame you, because obviously you went through COVID, you went through strikes.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of obstacles to overcome to make this movie.
Yeah. In fact, the very last song was filmed after the strike. So we were meant to finish, and we couldn't. We ended up stopping, and then 6 months later finished with that.
And is it true that when you found out that you were doing it on a Zoom call, is that when you found out that you got the roles? Is that right?
Yeah. I was here in London. It was 1 a.m. and I got a call for something else. They made me think it was about something completely different. And then my team likes dramatics, so they tried to surprise me about something else completely. And then by the end of it, I was weeping, crying.
I'm not surprised, because you thought that you would never be considered for a role like this.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that at all.
Why?
I just didn't think it's such a huge project, and I had never been considered for anything that big before, so I figured it wouldn't come my way. Even though there's like a part of me that was like willing and wishing that it would happen. So I just thought, well, it's not going to come my way. I don't think
A lot of tears?
Lot of tears.
Jonathan, same for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, not as many. Well, they did the same for me on a Zoom call when I found out I got the job. And I think the fact that the footage hasn't made its way on the internet shows that my British response was like, okay, fantastic. When did we start? And they just said, the producers were like, we just want to just check and talk to you about dancing. And then suddenly it was Gatecrash with Ari and Cynthia invited me to Shiz.
You mentioned dancing there, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I did hear that you and Jeff Goldblum are saying that you were both ballet dancers in another life.
I know, yeah, we are. Yeah, I mean, who knew that?
I may believe you. I'm not so sure about Jeff.
I'm not sure. I can see he's got a beautiful arch in that toe.
I'm sorry, what? I wonder what you're going to say then.
A beautiful
I was going to say he's got really good buns. That's what I
He's got
was
tight
thinking.
little buns.
In
He can
the
crack a
toes.
nut with his arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've got quite a lot in common, as it turns out. One of the biggest pleasures of the press tour is that, me and Jeff actually don't have any scenes together in the first film. We do in the second, but we've sat next to each other for the last month, and it's been an absolute joy. But Amanda, listen, you know how to sing and dance.
Well,
You
thanks.
are
Thanks
the
for even
queen.
remembering.
And this is where you're going to be on a Zoom call and you're going to be told that you're going to be in part 2.
I'm amazed that they haven't at least used my laugh for some sound effects in Wicked.
How do you know we haven't? It's happened already.
This movie is huge and so big. I just want to know more and more and more about the film. Like, for instance, 9 million, I think it's 9 million
9 million
tulips.
tulips,
were actually planted for this movie.
Yep.
That's the kind of detail we're talking.
I love that you know that.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Didn't read it at all. No. But the detail, and we've watched a video of you, Cynthia, doing
I want to
all
talk
your...
to you.
Tom Cruise is on the phone. He's on the phone.
He
He's
is
not
worried.
happy. He's not happy.
He is worried. We have watched all your broomstick action,
Yeah.
your singing, the training for it, the acting whilst you're doing all of that.
Yeah.
That is so stressful on your body. And you must have had to learn to sing in a completely different way.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was really crazy. So I had to train first to make sure my body knew what it was doing whilst I was in the harness and in the wires. And so we learned very early on and did training very early on to make sure that I could be comfortable flying. And then my wonderful vocal coach, Antea Bachet, came on board and was with me every single step of the way to make sure that I could... Because essentially you have to retrain your body to sing in a completely different way because you're putting the breath in a different place. You're using your diaphragm differently because we were in corsets as well. So corsets and wires and harnesses, it just compresses all the air. You can't use your body the way you would if you were just standing singing. So we had to find a way to put the breath higher up but still have enough to make those sounds. And at first, you feel like you're flailing all over the place. You have no idea where anything is making sound from. You have no idea how it's working. And then eventually you start to find how it works and how to put it all together. And I had a lot of support, and I'm really, really pleased that I was able to do it. I needed to, because I really wanted to make sure that everything felt authentic. So the flying felt real, that the singing felt real, that it all came from somewhere. So it wasn't just me standing on the ground and singing. I really wanted to.
It's not that at all.
Well, it's not that at all. And also, it's just everything else attached to the film. There's hardly any CGI in it, which is so refreshing these days and so brilliant. The craftsmanship, the train, everything.
And
It's
if you watch the
unbelievable.
credits at the end of the film, there are hundreds and hundreds of people who worked. And so this is cinema at its best, where, we're leaning on.
Hands on it,
I've heard about this part where you were singing, you were hitting those high notes, you were nailing those high notes. And is it true that as you were hitting those high notes, there were certain animals that were singing in the background? Is that a true story?
I just thought, that's that scene from Shrek.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It is a true story. It's very strange. So we were a couple of songs. So there's a place. One of the scenes is set in the Enchanted Forest, and we have an Enchanted Forest built, so it was real. But there's real biochemistry in there. So there's like plants that are real, and it's wonderful. So birds made homes in our set. And so when I would sing, they would start singing.
No.
Yeah.
Gosh,
and it was
it
the
is like
weirdest.
Shrek.
So when it happened the first time, I thought it was like a sound. I thought Simon had like played something. I thought someone was playing a track. So I thought it was like not real. And then I would stop and they would stop. So then we would sing again, and then the birds would sing again. And we were like, oh my goodness, there are birds in here. They're living in it and they're singing. It's like they're responding.
That's true magic.
Very strange.
Yeah, it does speak to Cynthia Erivo's
Very, very strange. It was very
powers.
lovely though. Yeah. It didn't, Simon was like, but also I need to capture the sound. So can the birds stop singing now?
Can you call their agents, please?
This needs to be clean. Please, thanks. Well, it was lovely, yeah.
Part 2, done and dusted?
Done and dusted.
Whoa.
Yes, it's going to be released on the 21st of November, 2025. I know, and I will be there. Probably in green latex. Where I wore green latex to the premiere.
Please.
I was in it for this premiere, but when I got home, it was
yeah.
I mean, we're over.
liquefied.
It's all right. Yeah.
I think I lost half a stone watching you on Monday, the premiere. But it was worth every drop.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Cynthia Erivo, Jonathan Bailey.
Thank you so
We're
much.
so thrilled to have you in.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This is Heart.